My first thought when I saw it is, I need that now. Because I have 33 students, Fast IEP is going to help me save about 4 to 5 hours per week. So before Fast IEP came along, what I did was the old-fashioned handwrite my notes, treatment notes. It just took me a long time to track and to even show the actual data to parents. Now with Fast IEP, it's just a click of a button where I can just show progress, and I can have a visual of a graph, and just I can show that a goal has been met. Would totally recommend this program.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for being here. Today, we're talking about Fast IEP, a wonderful tool. I'm a little biased, I invented it, but I've put all that I could from my knowledge as a neuroscientist and experience as an educator and working alongside many educators. This is an exciting session. I hope that last little moment from a teacher like you, like other special educators out there who's using Fast IEP, I hope that moment that we just saw by video got everyone excited. I'm excited. Welcome and thank you. And thank you for your service. So we're here to help you do what you do, but you're out on the front lines. Those of you who are out there, special educators in the classroom, trying to battle through days and do the best by our kiddos, our next generation, and those who in particular have invisible brain differences that might make it a little more difficult for them to integrate into society and become all they wish to be. You're helping them. Thank you. Our goal is to help you help them and to alleviate burden that you feel from paperwork, from cumbersome ways of being compliant with the IDEA, but knowing that the goal and the intent of that law and of so many aspects of special ed really help student outcomes. And so again, thank you. And thank you to NASET. So we're partnering Fast IEP and NASET, the National Association of Special Education Teachers. It's a wonderful, illustrious, and longstanding organization, today represented by Mr. Richard Scott, who's here with us. And thank you. Thank you for partnering with us, honoring us, and trusting us. It's wonderful to have your vouch and endorsement and sponsorship and so forth. And we're here really with you and because of you, and interacting with all those wonderful members to whom you reached out and who have shown up today. It's wonderful to see so many of you. I know we won't be able to see each other in our faces and your faces in the big collective because it's such a large webinar, but we hear you, and we'll hear you through the chat and we'll interact. So again, but thank you again for Richard and NASET. I'm going to turn it over to you to say a few words. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Sahin. I just want to thank you for applying your expertise as a neuroscientist to invent something specifically to help special education teachers. There are very few inventors who focus on us, and we really appreciate that attention. As many of you may have heard, NASET has announced its endorsement of Fast IEP last month. This is the first time we've endorsed a product, but we were just blown away by how much easier it makes the lives of special education teachers. We've also supplied Fast IEP with a NASET goals and objectives database, and you'll soon be able to choose from goals collected from thousands of teachers just like you. With that, I'll turn it back to Dr. Sahin, who's going to show us all about how Fast IEP can save you hundreds of hours each year in progress monitoring and reporting.
Thank you so much, Richard. And yes, it's our pleasure to serve each of you out there, teachers, and your districts. And we'll talk about how to bring this to your whole district in any way we can. And as you say, Richard, we now have access to the NASET database of Goal Bank. And that's a feature that's going to be coming very soon. We've built that into our software. Like we build in many features as requested by teachers out there who really, really want something, and we put it in within weeks. We're going to have that feature soon, and I'll show you other features. And you know what? I think we have a little video here that gives a good overview. So let's play that video. And it's an overview of the software, but also why we've built Fast IEP for you. And then we can circle back. I'll give you a broader overview of the software, and then we can go step by step, and you can follow along. And really thank you, and stay tuned, because as I say in the video, and it really means something to us all here in the Fast IEP family, this is more than software. This is its philosophy, it's neuroscience, and it is a heartful response to what we heard from thousands of teachers who said they're crushed under the burden of paperwork, but still with that urge and spirit to, well, to really help their students move on forward. We want to make it easier for you. And I think the video speaks to that. So Jim, do you want to cue that up? My goal was to make the teachers' lives easier. And that's non-trivial, so we talked to thousands of teachers and found their pain points. Too many reports, hard to get the data into the system in the first place. I don't know how to make these nice graphs that I need. By the way, I barely have time ever to go home to my own kids. How do I communicate this to parents, and so forth? Each one of those pain points, and there are more, we address directly in the software. This is software, it's also a philosophy and the neuroscience underneath it. But at the core, we make it extremely easy with a single click to record a data event. Every goal can be turned into a yes/no question through our rubric for event by event data logging. And when the teacher clicks that button, big shiny button, everything else goes with it. The time, the date, the classroom, the student, their name, etc. You don't need to write that stuff down. You just write down whether the person performed that task. Easy, single button. Now that data point joins the rest of the data points in an ongoing chart. So you flip over to the charts, you see exactly what's going on, updated to the moment. You want to clip out a sentence that summarizes the progress, send that to the parent. That's updated in the moment. The computer does the algorithmic work. It makes the charts. It does all the calculation for you. What you do, or what the teacher does out there on the front lines, while kids are escalating, while it's noisy, while everything's going on, single button click. And then when they want to send a report home, click for a PDF that gives you pages and pages and pages of nicely formatted data and charts, so that that other part about, gosh, calculating everything, grabbing the pieces of paper, entering into a spreadsheet at the end of the quarter, you don't have to do that. It's done for you. You can do your work as an educator. So are you excited? Let me hear the roar from the crowd. Are you excited? I think yep, I hear you somehow. But we can't, but we can hear you in the chat. So please jump into the chat, say, ask, tell, whatever you like. We know you're there, and we want to hear so much from you. And during these sessions, which have been very, very fruitful, it's wonderful to see the very dynamic chat evolving. Okay, so just as we were entering, there was a poll question. Hopefully you saw that and were able to address it. And looks like we have some answers. These are the results from our poll question. We're asking what you currently do to do what Fast IEP does. Basically, what do you do right now in the classroom to get the data into the system and then to do progress monitoring? Whew, look at that. 60% use paper right now. 60% of you are writing down what happens on paper, and then presumably you have to kind of do the work again later to pull all the data together into maybe a spreadsheet. And then another 22% are starting with a spreadsheet. Nonetheless, later have to do work to create the graphs And until then, you have data points. Data points are important. They don't tell the story. The story is from those graphs. The story is from the percentage complete. And that's hard work that you're doing in addition to teaching and in addition to everything else. Fast IEP does all that hard work for you. You can get your mind out of the binders and into that front lines work that you want to do. And that's what we're here to show you. So now are you excited? I saw a woohoo. I saw that sounds very appealing. This is good. I want that. No, but seriously, this is something that thousands of teachers are using right now, actually representing thousands of different districts and across the country. And actually, it turns out in a few other countries, which was surprising to us. It's about 30 other countries. But this is something that is our promise to you to save you time and yet increase the quality of reports and your ability to see in real time feedback, progress, etc. So here we go. I will give a quick overview, share screen. This is the fundamental interface of Fast IEP. By now, it should be up on your screen. Let us know in chat if it's not. And I will put that up here so I think I can see it while I present to you. Wonderful. Okay, so the main panel here are the goals, your IEP goals for a given student. I'll quickly switch. Now I go to a different student. I see the different goals. Each goal is a tile. Each tile is a goal. Switching back here to Maya Angelou. So each tile is essentially a button. I click it to do the one thing, which is log a data point. I'll come back to that in a second. Let's just look around briefly. I have all my goals. They're not locked in a binder. They're not on paper. They're here, visual. I have positional information to remember, oh, that goal, that's one we're really working on. I have color information. I have these icons, and I have categories to guide me. And then I have the actual goal information. Additionally, I have this progress indicator over here. All right, it's designed to be easy to use. It's designed to be compatible with the classroom. Most other software out there is designed, I don't know, to drive you bonkers. If you look at it, software out there is really designed for pure compliance, and it's made by engineers just to get the job done, but not to help your job. This one was from thousands of teachers telling us what they need in a classroom so they can click something with the left hand over their shoulder and get something done. And that's the goal. Anyway, so different students, different goals, and then the goals tiles give you some information. What's one of the things you need to do in the beginning of every day and every week is plan your time, decide where you're going to focus your energies on which students and which goals. That's hard when it's all locked in binders and the data are just jots and tick marks and numbers. But this is visual. It's visual if you look at these progress indicators on the side of a goal tile. Like for instance, this expressive language. Maya will initiate communication with others during 4 out of 5 opportunities over 3 out of 4 weeks. Okay, so that's the goal. And where is she right now? Well, she's at 3 out of 5 in the current week, and she's already successfully completed 2 weeks. She needs to get to 3 out of 4 weeks, and then she'll be done with the goal. When she's done with the goal, you get one of these wonderful badges here and a congratulatory email that you've completed the goal. Right. And then tell me, by the way, if my audio has gone. I get a little note that it might have. In any case, yeah, so as I click this goal tile, I enter data. Every goal can be turned into a yes/no question, because I'm not asking yes, no about 80% or the total goal. I'm asking about at that moment, did the person do the thing or not? And then I answer. If I say yes, that's great. I've established some progress. Then I get the ability to add a note or a video or a picture. Let's add a note. It was a challenging day, but Maya came through and was re-regulated rapidly. Okay, I made some spelling mistakes there, which I can fix. Okay, and then I could add a photo or a video. The video could be me talking to my future self to remind myself of something, or videoing an important event. A photo could be some amazing moment I want to send home to mom. Or it could be, you know, documentation of something challenging. At least we have the documentation. Done. That data point is saved. Did you notice the little indicator here went from 3 out of 5 to 4 out of 5? Because that's what happened. I got the student performed correctly there. All right, so these are goals. I'm going to go over pretty soon how to start and initiate your own account, but take a look at this. The data I just added, like, I'll jump to the point here, that expressive language goal, this is a data point that I just added. Here's my note, luckily without my typos. Okay, so that's there. You see the student day here. Well, I'll come back to that in a bit. But anyway, the data right there, the data are also in this chart. I don't know how many of you take the data from paper, maybe into a spreadsheet and make charts by the end of time for your reports after 9 weeks. But if you do, it's a lot of work. And getting that chart just right is very difficult. Now do that of all the different goals and put them on the same axes. Well, that's hard, but look, the computer's doing that for me right now. I can swap goals in and out, remove them from the chart, and I can send this to the parent instantly, or this goes right into my report. And I'll explain how to really get the data for your report. But look how quick that is, and how pretty, right? A parent who gets a report like this is a collaborative parent, not a combative parent. Because you've either warned them that things are going a little more slowly, or shown them success, or whatever it is, but you've communicated, and it's easy because it's done for you. You just log data in real time, and all this computation and chart making is done for you. Okay, let's circle back and talk about how to start an account. I'll just show you one more thing. Do you like these? Do you like these charts and so forth? I hope so. I can't hear you talking to me, but I see in the chat there seems to be lots of interest. So here's the thing. I want all this. I just do this save or print button, and I get a PDF. That's going to generate a PDF in real time with all the colors and all the data and all the details. I enter data. All I have to do is just click a goal, say yes or no, and maybe put an annotation, and I get the report created at any time. I can do it now, I can do it tomorrow, I can do it at time of the reporting, and as many times as I want. And so that's going to send me a PDF to my email and download it. I mean, look at this. This is an example student, so there's example data, but it's 28 pages. Maybe there's only one page you want there, maybe you want all 28, but it's pretty hard to generate 28 beautiful, colorful pages of visually intuitive data and insights and send those to the parents. We do that for you. Great. So that PDF is going to come down. I can wait for it to generate to me, or it'll just get emailed to me anyway, and we'll download. So I can get out of that now. So who's interested in generating an account? It looks like some of you already have. Thank you. Let's go through it in a moment and see how easy that is to do. I go to this menu. I'm going to tease you with this menu item here, and I'm going to log out and start again. Ooh, before we do, I just noticed my PDF's already done. Didn't take me a week to do. And in fact, it took minutes and the computer did it for me. So I'm going to open that PDF, and I'm gonna switch sharing to the PDF. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. So there it is. I'll do a quick overview. Here's my 28 pages. That's pretty hard to generate on your own from paper or spreadsheets. I know because we spent a lot of time making sure that everything is nicely formatted and generates these really nice and scalable PDF outputs. So first you see the goals in the way they're represented in Fast IEP, to which you'll become accustomed. And then in follow-on pages, there's actually additional goals. The student had many goals. And then these are progress histories. So it's a quick summary of how the student got to the current level of progress. And then this summary of current status from completed to absolutely not yet, really mastered any one observation period. So you can see right away which goals are going well and where to spend your time and attention, and maybe flag up to the team that there may be difficulty in reaching this goal. All right, these are sentences I can explain later, but it's auto-completed sentences that you can send directly to the parents with numerical summary of the goals. And then you get a chart like this for each and every goal on which that student is working, and your current level of progress and the history that got you there. And then these are annotations and data events. So that's all there. Doing this yourself would take so much time. We do it for you. And again, that's our promise. We'll do the heavy lifting for you in terms of computation and report writing. You do the heavy lifting in the classroom. Sounds like a deal? That's our deal. All right. Let's go through and start an account from scratch.
While we're doing that, Dr. Sahin, there have been a lot of questions about the fact that the free trial is 45 days long, and we're about to head into summer. So I've been answering in chat, but just for everyone to know, if you'd like, we're very happy to extend your trial so that you'll have time at the beginning of your school year to actually try it out. Just send me an email and let me know the start date of your school year, since everyone starts at different times.
Yep.
And I'd be happy to make that adjustment, and my email is in the chat.
Absolutely. And by the way, can you get ready to put into the chat the link for them to go and follow along? But meanwhile, I see there are some questions about different types of goals. And so I want to reassure that, in fact, we cover any type of goal. So let's add a goal. Let's go into this. Actually, I'll do this in the simulation, but this is a platform that allows for any type of IEP goal. And I'll come back to it, also objectives and benchmarks, academic, performance, behavioral, anything. I'm a cognitive neuroscientist, so I kind of done a lot of examples of behavior, but absolutely all types of goals. So I'll log out. And here's what you see. If you haven't already signed up, here it is. Now, Jim, would you put into chat the link so they could sign up even right now?
Yes, it's in chat right now.
Wonderful. Okay, so you can go to that link now or later. And if you do, you get the special deal because you're now doing so as a member or affiliate of NASET. And that's wonderful. You get extended greater courtesy and a discount and an extended free trial. And we will be occasionally sending new offers and so forth to you and for you to pass on to your friends through NASET. So if you do it now through that link, it's better. So let's put in a new account here. So I will make it Accountius Happiest, and just put an email address. That's really all you need to do. When you see this, you should see a VIP code of NASET, all caps here. Doesn't have to be all caps, it's just for ease. Otherwise, you could put that in. I won't put that in. And okay, join now for free. It's pretty easy. It's in fact fast All right, I have a new account. Welcome to the Fast IEP family. We are a family. We listen to you. Almost every feature here is because of people like you putting it to our attention, including as you're doing now in chat. Let's get started. Jim, how do I get that back? I will do this again. All right. Switch over here. And let's just do this simple with my name so we can start again. Let's get started with the tour. Okay, so to make this simple for you, we have this little tour when you first start up. Let's do it. So I want to add a student. To add a student, we don't need much PII. Really, it's just the student name. So don't worry about that sort of thing. I know sometimes that's worrisome. We're compliant with all the regular laws, but nonetheless, they may ask, oh, does this take in PII? No, it doesn't. It's just a student name. And you could just say student 45, or you could actually put in a name. Let's put in a name. Okay, and I could put a student number that's associated with your actual student numbers. Now here's an important thing. I put the ARD. So let's put an annual review of October 10th. Okay, the system will remind me when that annual review is approaching. That will help me out. Now I get the opportunity to put in parent information if I want, and photo and video consent, which enables certain features. And now I have this new student. I need to add a goal. So let's add a goal. And here's where we can do any type of goal. So for instance, yes, there are a lot of behavior goals in there. It's kind of my bent, but there are general academic goals. There's a whole section for math goals, a whole section for things like reading and other types of goals. And then there are ones that are like transitions. It might be for older students. There might be some very, very basic classroom skills, might be for younger students. So it really translates across, kindergarten, lower middle, high school, and transition, and different levels of functioning, if you're okay with that sort of terminology, and all the way up into independent living. So let's take a math goal. And let's do money. All right. And actually, no, let's do something simple like, oh, I don't know, statistics. That'll be a little funny. Lucinda will, on average, compute the average of 5 number sets when presented with 3-digit numbers with fewer than 3 prompts. I'm adding all that because sometimes people ask about that type of goal. All right, that's the goal kernel. That's what the student needs to do to succeed. And then we have the criteria, the thresholds. We separate those so that the computer can compute the threshold for you. You never have to guesstimate. You never have to go back and struggle to do these real-time calculations as so many other things go by. The computer does it. And the way we do that is by having you enter the data here in this form. So for instance, 3 out of 4 could be the performance, 3 out of 4 chances, 3 out of 4 opportunities, times, items, intervals, classes, whatever you like. And if you want us to add one, we can do that. Alternatively, it could be percentage. I could be going for 80% with 80% accuracy, 80% success, or 80% of times, 80% of classes, intervals, or just of the time, or chances. So then there's the observation periods. You can't just stop at, oh, well, I got to 80% once. Well, how many times or over what consistent period? So that's where we do something like, say, 3 out of 4 weeks, which is a time-based observation period. Or you can set the beginning and end of the observation period yourself. It could be episodes or occasions or attempts or observations. I can do it that way, or I can use consecutive. It's a little more strict, but many goals are written that way. So 3 consecutive observations. I have to get 3 in a row, or I'm back down to 0. Computer will do that calculation for you. Let's go to 4 out of 5 episodes. As I inputted these criteria, thresholds, and the goal kernel, you may or may not have noticed at the bottom here in this gray box, the goal is being written out automatically for me. That's the compliant goal that's going to look like what you have in your IEP. But with these thresholds kind of built in automatically, the computer is writing that sentence, and that computer is able to, of course, calculate that sentence, calculate the percentage of those thresholds. Great. So that hopefully should have covered several of the questions in terms of types of goals and aspects of creating. So now I have that goal. Let's look at that tile. I see the progress indicators. There's the percentage slider, and then there are these observations. I'm at 0 all around right now, but the first time I log, I have successfully logged, and I am now a teacher with an accolade because I got 1 bit of data logged. And now I'll log that was a successful one. Now I'll log an unsuccessful trial, and I'm now at 50% and working forward. So great. So that's how some of it works. I hope there are some further questions that we can direct in chat here. And yeah, so then we mentioned about the database. In that goal constructor here, you will get a button soon. Right now, it just shows you a few examples. But you'll get a button soon that has a context-sensitive list of possible goals. Like when you choose statistics or when you choose math, you'll get some what are called goal starters from NASET amongst thousands of goals that are related to math or related to that part of math. And that takes you from the wide possibility space of all potential goals you could write for that child down to something very tangible and practical. But you still get the opportunity to customize it, to individualize it for that student based on the present level and the criteria that you set. So this guides you towards that SMART goal format. You can use the goal starters and get there to the specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound SMART goal using the constructor. All right. Let's cancel that out. Again, everything I enter here goes to my data and charts. Let's switch over to an example student with more data, and you see those charts. Did I mention about these? Not fully so much. So these here, which are really cool, are the auto-generated descriptions of progress. These are sentences that embed the entire goal and the current ongoing progress. So for instance, this one, for goal 6, toileting, Albert has succeeded to tell an adult he needs to use toilet before it becomes an urgent need for at least the targeted 80% of the time during 2 out of the 6 recent observed weeks with a target of 5 weeks, resulting in a 40% completion of this goal as of today, which is 21 days since the ARD, turns out. So for you to generate that sentence, you can, but it takes time. That's a very meticulously crafted sentence. The computer crafted it for you, and it inserted the data. If you added a different data point, that percentage would change. Real time, always updated. I just copy this to my clipboard and send it in an email to the parent or to the supervisor or whatever. So that's done for you. Again, time saving while increasing the progress monitoring and the quality. Great. So I'm going to stop now. There's more features I want to show, but I want to get some of these questions, and I haven't been able to monitor the chat so much while I've been doing this. So let's see, Jim, do you want to call a few out to me? Other questions?
Yes, so there was a question about district systems and integrating with district systems.
Sure.
And I've answered some in the chat, but maybe you want to address that.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm glad people are interested in their districts. First of all, get this for yourself. This is yours, it's private, it's a tool, you can use it. If a district can't tell you not to use a spreadsheet, they can't tell you not to use this. So you can try it. But once you love it, and we really hope you will, then you might want to get it to your district. And then your district buys it for you, and you're kind of the hero because you brought something that, if you love it, probably your other teachers are going to love. Districts takes a little bit of time to make a decision. So we'll give you materials to supply to your special ed director. Now, when you integrate at a district level, you get some additional features. Your student roster is probably going to come from some other software like Frontline or Goalbook or one of the other softwares out there. So you won't have to write in your students each time. It becomes just a button. Actually, it may be automatically pushed at the beginning of the year. So you get your student roster, and then you can tweak in the goals. You may get the goal kernels, and you add in the criteria. And then you can push from the software to other software that the district might use for reporting. That will get done at a district level. We'll interact with your IT department, and we have a district integration plan. So if you want to put into the chat which programs you currently use, which ones you love, which ones you detest, that's a common response, so don't worry about it. But no, let us know. But in general, when you bring this to your district, they will eventually buy it for you. You'll be the hero, and it'll get integrated. So you'll have to do even less work in terms of inputting data to set up. Yeah, and there are other cool things because you can share your caseload with and have interactions with BCBAs, OTs, SLPs, PTs, etc. And you may have primary responsible for some students, and another student may be another teacher may be primarily responsible for another student, nonetheless, whom you interact with, maybe as resource or pull out, push in, etc. All of that is at the district level. But we do have one feature similar to that at the individual level, which is that you can share with a para. Anyone interested in that? Yes, no, probably. Yes, okay, great. Let's do that. So if I have a student here and I want to share that student with an instructional assistant or a para, here we go. So I can do this. This menu, explore the menu. There's some cool things here. In fact, there are ways to share the software to get free months or other free things, but I can share with a para. So who's going to be our para today? Let's say Hyacinthus Paradiso. There's our
Dr. Sahin, I think you aren't sharing your screen right now.
Oh, okay. When did I stop doing that? I hope we didn't miss too much. Okay. So let's go back and start that again. Once again with feeling. Okay. I want to share with a para. I go to this menu, upper right. There are many other items in the menu, and let's do share with a para. I get this simple pop-up, and all you do is put the name and email. So I don't know what name I had just given, but let's do another one. Isabel. Okay. And oops, that was Paradise. Let's do Paradise. Okay. So let's say her email is paradise@isabella.com. That's it. I just share. And now, now the software actually sent an email to Paradise and Isabel. And I assume that's not an email address, so it'll bounce. But anyway, that's it. That was that simple. So if that person's actually your para, you'll have to cross-confirm that they're authorized, and then that para can log data for that student. You do this individually by student. At a district level, you'll be able to do a like mix and match. This student, this instructor, and so forth. But here it is, you can share with the para. Now that para can enter data, but not delete students or delete goals, right? So you're giving this person the ability to save you time, enter data, but you have to be primarily responsible that you still have the students, still have the goals correct according to what's legally compliant. So since you're primarily responsible, assuming I'm talking to the primary special educator, then you don't want someone else who's in the account to delete things. So that's where we draw the permissions. Right, so that is that feature. What else shall we address?
So we were seeing some questions about non-IEP goals and using it just for, in general, SMART goals.
You can use this for tracking any kind of goal you want to put in there. And for instance, if you want to put in a goal that's your own goal, maybe a goal about entering data on other people's goals, sort of a meta goal, you can do that. You can add a goal in there for your own planning sessions or your workouts. I mean, this really is any kind of goal you could use for yourself. But if there's goals for students, maybe you have them, I don't know whom we have in the audience, but you maybe have some students with 504s or just students who are not on an IEP, but have goals, or you want to kind of invent a goal for a student that's not part of an IEP, but can really help them, you believe. You can do whatever you want. This is an overall rubric. It will be added to your PDF, so you have to think about that. If you wanted to do something separate that doesn't get into the master PDF, create a different student. You have an unlimited number. So create another student that's like a virtual student, and you can put goals there. It could be, again, for yourself, or it could be riders, sidecars to students that aren't part of the official IEP, but could be a goal that you want to track. All right. What else should we talk about? About objectives and benchmarks. Is that something that anyone cares about out there?
Yes, looks like that's an important topic.
Aha. Okay, good. Ooh, I hear a lot of yeses. Wonderful. So objectives and benchmarks. We have goals now, IEP goals, and coming very soon, we're going to have support for objectives and benchmarks, and you get to see the preview of that here now. So first, let's show you something that's coming in the next week or two, and this will be fun. And then it leads into the objectives, which I'll show right after that. Okay. So what I'm showing you now looks like the same interface, but this is the future. This is the version that gets released shortly. And this has some additional features. We also listened to teachers like you, that's what we do. And many teachers said, well, it's great that you have this goal constructor. It really helps me write a SMART goal, but I have to open it each time for each goal. And if I have 30 students on my caseload, each with a handful of goals, that's a lot of work. So we made a screen that allows you to put all the goals in at once. So I'm going to show you that screen, and then it's within that screen that we're going to get objectives soon. So if I now do this new version, add, edit, or delete goals, plural, as opposed to an individual goal, I get this screen. And here are the goals. You see that they share the same color coding as the goal tiles, because that's what they are. They are the goal tiles, but now in an editable format where you can edit every aspect of them or add new ones. I'll also point out that we added this feature that you can move the goals around, so that changes the sequence or order in which you see them on screen. Otherwise, if you entered this one last, that's going to show up last. Maybe that's not what you wanted. All right, so all of your goals are in one place. And here's this new format. It's the same fields that we had before, but compacted nicely into a single horizontal tile. You choose the goal category. You write the goal kernel here. Okay, and then you can change what the criteria are. Let's say this is for an existing goal, or I can add a new goal. And that's all done here. See, it's kind of easier, compact, and I can do all of them at once. I can add new ones and do this very easily. All right. So that's the screen that shows all the goals in one. And now I'm going to show you what it looks like for objectives. Let me show you that in a moment. So, did we lose my video again? Okay, but let me know that you can hear me well.
We can hear you and see you.
Oh, great. So now in this version, I just click this toggle, enable objectives. And now each goal tile has the ability to have daughter goals in a sense. And so let's do that. Now I have, you see this orange color comes all the way through because that's the color of that particular master goal. And then all the children of that goal have the same coloration. There's this bar here to remind you that they are sub goals of the one, and the numbering. If this was goal 2, then it's 2A, 2B, 2C, D, or as many as you want. And you can always add more objectives to that. Here you write in just like you would write for anything else, any other goal, but now these are subordinate to the master goal. And the master goal's progress is an average of the progress of all the subcomponents. And those subcomponents can be objectives or benchmarks, because you have the ability to set a date here by which each may be complete. It'll default to the ARD. So it's all going to be at the same as your annual review, which means it's the same as the annual goal. That's more for objectives. But then you can change it, which is a little more compatible with benchmarks. So they can be sequential or, timed. And then you can get the signal if you just didn't meet that benchmark and not the next one either. That's a good flag to you that something needs to be done. But the objectives are more like different parts of the master goal skill set, and both are compatible here. So there you enter them. And once they're entered, they show up on that tile. Now the goal tile has 2 or 4 or 6 parts to it. And you click on the tile and you get all of your objectives or benchmarks, and you click the one that's relevant. So it only adds one more click. And you still see everything, and you still get that visual display of everything that says where you need to concentrate your energy and what work you have done and not done yet in terms of logging. Does that address kind of the needs out there for objectives and benchmarks? Great, great. I'm saying yes, and it does, and so forth. Wonderful. Yay. So that's one.
While you're thinking about perhaps some questions to ask in these final 10 minutes, I'm going to post into chat some important information. So the first thing is, we'd love to hear from you. Ned loves to hear from you directly, and everyone on the team. So I'm going to put our email addresses in here. If you have any questions at any time, feel free to email any of us individually. We also have a special email address called support@fastiep.com. And this is if you're using the software and you have a question, or if something's not working the way you expected, you can just send an email there. That will mean you'll get a very fast response. The first person available on the support team will respond to you. There's also a place you can go, and we have a knowledge base. We have frequently asked questions. We have a bunch of videos that will teach you how to use the different features. And that's a website called support.fastiep.com. And I've just put all of those in here. And in case you missed it, I'll give you the link to sign up for a free account. If you have any questions, Dr. Sahin will answer them now if you want to put them in chat or in the Q&A.
It's a great time to ask questions or give suggestions. I invented this. I make the designs, so any feature you want, I can put it in. And then our wonderful development teams, which is spread all across the world, will implement that, and you'll be able to use it weeks later. So fire away.
We have our first question in chat about the parental approval. I think this refers to the video and the photo consent.
Parents do not need to approve your use of this program. Not at all. They do not need to approve you using a notebook to write down data. They do not need to approve you using a Google spreadsheet to write down data. And this is a more elaborated way of writing down your data. It's your job to write down. The parental approval is for you to say that parents have approved photos of their child. And that's done at the beginning of the year. We're all familiar with that. The reason that's built into our software is the software allows you to take photos. We could just have said it's your responsibility to know that you're able to do that, but we wanted to make that a little bit more compliant. So that's on you to say, yes, I know this is a do not video student or a do not photograph student. These days, there are very few of those, with Zoom and the pandemic, pretty much everyone's been on video. But if you do have a student who's a do not video, we give you that option. But otherwise, that will just enable or disable specific features in the software that allow you to do a video annotation. But the parent absolutely does not need to approve you using the software. Yeah, I see this. I was going to use my free trial, then show my to show my data collection and graphs to my administrators so they can buy the program. That's exactly right. So let's use the free trial. Maybe don't be afraid to just. We keep it a low price point. If you want to buy it, you'll probably get it reimbursed by your district later. But make sure you can really speak to the utility of it, and administrators will really want to hear that. You may think that it's the us and them, the instructors and the administrators, but administrators are afraid of adding new products to a district that the teachers don't actually want to use. And there's a long history of that. So teachers really, you have very little time, and you don't want to have to learn something that you don't actually like. And sometimes Power School is like that. Sometimes Goldbook is like that. So if you like this and you say, I like this, this benefits me, I believe this will benefit others on the teaching team, that's going to be very compelling to most administrators. Yes, and it is summer. You want to, if you're doing ESY, maybe this is useful for you now. Maybe you want to get a jump on next year. Your free trial will absorb much of your summer. If you're still not convinced, then we can extend that trial for you. Just write to us. But if you are convinced, join up, spread the word around. You'll get free either months or students by recommending this to others. And then when it gets done in your district, it'll then be permanently free for you, and you'll get access to those district level features. We'll send you information on how to communicate with administrators for your district.
Yes, and yeah, we agree with you. Is it Nydia or Nydia? I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. We did want to have the webinar much earlier in the year, but you know, there's always another school year coming.
Yep. And yes, we have additional trainings. Be in touch, and we'll be in touch with you. And this is a light training, gives you the basics, and we do PD for districts and other training sessions. And there is a lot of instruction built into the software, and more will come. But please, really do give us any further feedback. We're happy to add new things all the time. And the thousands of teachers currently using it seem to love how it is now. So be part of our party. This is a fun group, and we are trying to make IEPs fun. When I called it Fast IEP, I thought of Fun IEP. Maybe it sounded a little too flippant, but who would have thought that it could almost be fun? Quickly add data, see the graphs, feel that warm and fuzzy knowing your students are progressing, and that some really need your extra attention and care. That's what it's all about. There's very few things more correlated with positive student outcomes than setting judicious goals and doing progress monitoring in as close to real time as possible, so you get the feedback.
Just wanted to jump in one more time. Everyone, a lot of people are concerned about, it's summertime, you won't really have a chance to use it, and you don't want to start your trial now. Please don't let that stop you. We will be very happy to extend your trial. All you have to do is email us. You can email me, or you can email support@fastiep.com. Let us know when your school year starts, and we'll extend your trial so that you have plenty of time to evaluate Fast IEP for free, after the school year starts.
Yeah.
But definitely sign up. Don't hesitate to sign up now. As I said, we're very happy to extend your trial.
But the reason to sign up now is that's how to secure the NASET deal. You're coming in under that NASET code, you're coming in now, so you get the already extended trial, and we'll be sending other offers as a partner of NASET. So now's the time to do that. And also get used to the interface, get updated as we make some of the cool changes that are coming over the summer, and you'll be a maven. And then come fall, pull in your students, and away you go.
And if you'd like to sign up now, put the link right now into the chat.
Yeah. Great. And, this is a labor of love for me and of cerebrality. It's subtle, but there is a lot of visual psychology in the interface and a lot of neuroscience of learning in how the gamification works, both to guide your time and effort and the students. So there's a lot there, and I really hope you'll get in and appreciate that and see it. I care so much. So you can write to me directly, as Jim said. We will respond. I'll respond. If you want to do a video call, I do a lot of those every week. So we'll get you on the calendar.
And we will be sending follow-up emails after the webinar that will include a link to the recording, and also other links, all of the links that we put in the chat, in case you missed them, email addresses that you can contact. And I'm just seeing a question. Yes, it's unlimited students. So when you sign up, it's either $8 per month, or if you sign up for a year, you get the summer free. So it's $80 a year. You only pay for the 10 months, but you can use it all year, and it's unlimited students. No limit to the number of students.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Just that last question about co-teacher. If your co-teacher is only going to be recording progress data, so clicking on the tile and saying yes or no, but the co-teacher does not need to edit goals or create goals, then there's no additional subscription needed. Only the teacher who's actually creating the goals needs to pay for a subscription. So if you want to share the student, invite your colleagues to help you record data, there's no additional charge.
Yep. And yeah, so if you put in sample students for the summer, you can delete those students, no problem. You can write, and start again. Or you can just leave them there as your sample students to play around with whenever you want, because it's unlimited. So then you add in the fall the students that are actually on your caseload. So that's no problem. And by the way, when you're asking about the co-teacher, also, you just put the co-teacher in as a para for now. And
we may have lost you, Dr. Sahin. Oh, we've got you back. Oh, but we can't hear you. So the question about the goal banks, we're actually working on that right now, and we just had a meeting with NASET earlier today. The Dr. Zine is working on the interface to make it really easy to, because there's thousands of goals in the goal bank, we want to make sure we don't overwhelm you, and we want to show you just the ones that are relevant to that category or subcategory. So we're working on that now. Definitely by the start of the school year, those will be in there, but hopefully earlier than that.
absolutely. Yeah, and what I was saying earlier is that you can share your account if you need to with the other teacher to edit and delete things. And then the teacher can log in under the para account for just assisting with adding data. No problem there.
All right, well, thank you so much for staying so late. We really appreciate everyone who's attended. And Dr. Sahin, I'll let you close it out.
Well, thank you. And thank you again, Richard, and the NASET team and organization. It's wonderful to be partnered, and thank you for endorsing us. And thank you again, everyone out there, for doing the hard work. We're trying to make it easier for you. Please do sign up at go.fastiep.com. Send us any questions and get excited for a year in which you can do less of the paperwork, but end up with better reports and a greater sense of which students are doing how well on which goals, and a quick visual display. Looking forward to it. Please be in touch, and thank you.